Power tools use many ball bearings to allow various components to rotate. Over time, a ball bearing will wear and begin to fail. A bearing that is failing will usually give warning, often with a squeaking or squealing sound. Replacing a ball bearing is a repair that you can do yourself, and I'm going to show you how.
Hi, I'm Mark Socha.
Do-it-yourself repairs like these are easier than you might think. From lawn machines to cordless drills, kitchen mixers,
Outdoor grills.
our how-to videos walk you through each repair from start to finish. So doing it yourself means never having to do it alone.
Let's get started.
I'll begin by removing the end cover from the motor. Now I can remove the motor brushes. Now I can remove the top handle from the saw. Now I can remove the top half of the switch handle. Now we'll remove the screw that secures the switch to the handle. With the switch released, I'll remove the black wire that comes from the motor. I'll also go ahead and remove the red and the yellow wires. Take note of the location of each of these wires before you remove them. And I'll disconnect the coupling that secures the two halves of the white wire. And now I'll remove the screw that secures the lower half of the switch handle to the saw. And now I'll remove the motor housing and field from the saw. Now I can remove the armature from the saw. The armature is held in place by an O-ring around the bearing. If I wiggle the armature in the housing, I can pull it free. Now I can remove the bearing from the armature. I'll use a bearing separator and a vise to do that. I'll place the separator over the bearing and lock it into place. Then I'll place my separator over the vise jaws. With this armature, there's very little clearance between the separator and the armature fan, so you need to be careful not to damage the fan. Now I'll use a rubber mallet to remove the armature from the bearing. Don't use a metal hammer here because you will damage the gearing on the end of the armature shaft. Now I can install the new bearing. I'll place it over the armature shaft and then use a socket that has an inside diameter that'll fit over the armature shaft and that matches the diameter of the inner bearing race. I'll use the socket to tap the bearing into place. Now I'll install the armature back into the saw. Now I'll reinstall the filled and motor housing. And secure it with the screws. Now I'll reinstall the lower switch handle. I'll thread the motor wires back through the opening in the handle. I'll secure the handle with the screw. And now I'll begin reconnecting the wires. I'll reconnect the two white wires. I'll route the black wire from the motor back through the housing and up to the switch. I'll reconnect the black wire to the switch, and now reinstall the yellow and the red wires. The yellow wire to the bottom of the switch, and the red wire to the top. Now I'll place the switch back into the housing, make sure the wires are tucked in place. Now secure the switch with the screw. There's two screw openings in the switch. I want to use the innermost one. The outer hole gets filled by the upper handle. Now I'll tuck the remainder of the wires back into place. With all the wires tucked out of the way, now I can reinstall the upper half of the switch handle. And now I'll reinstall the upper carry handle. Next, I'll reinstall the motor brushes. And I'll finish up by reinstalling the motor end cap. And now you know how to install a new bearing in your power tool. Be sure to check back often for new videos and expert advice. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up.
And leave a comment.